What do you mean record?
Can you guys hear me well? Like,
I'm terrified. Am I the only one?
Oh, brother.
Welcome back to the Avonlea Tales. My name is Evelyn.
My name is Sav.
I'm Becky.
And I'm Layla.
So today we are going to be discussing our favorite and with an E friendship. So who wants to start?
Who does want to start?
I guess I'll go first. So I haven't given this much thought yet, so this is coming straight from the top of my head, but and I it's hard because I've got so many friendships that I do love and adore, but God, this is so hard. Now I'm like second guessing it.
Right.
I have one.
Okay, go. You go.
I 100% know who my favorite is.
Oh, go
All right,
ahead.
you go.
Yeah.
You go.
So my favorite friendship in the whole show is Rachel and Marilla.
Oh, yes.
That's true.
That was like
That's
my
true.
first one
Yeah.
on the list.
I think that they're really just like brilliant friendship,
Mhm.
really funny. Like they add so much comic relief to it, and I just really like. I don't know. I just really appreciate the sort of like growth and kind of like that you're able to see the two of them grow so well together and sort of help each other come into understandings about things too.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, no, you're fine.
I feel like they're a pretty good reflection on friendships that we all have. Like, you know,
Yeah,
we all have,
exactly. Like I see myself.
you know, we all have a friend who's a gossip or a bit of a, you know,
Mhm.
diva in a way. We all have the friend who wears the pants in the relationship. So it's like, I feel like you could at least relate to one of the two, but
Yeah.
I love Rachel.
Yeah.
I always say out of every single character, she shouldn't be the one that I relate to the most, but she is.
Yes!
Like
She's
Yes.
always,
Oh my god.
she brings the tea. She brings the tea.
I love her.
No, because
She's the best.
they always get mad at each other too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then,
Yes.
Oh
my
God,
favorite
wait.
argument ever is, you know, the argument where she comes up, I don't even remember what they're fighting about anymore, but she says to her, "You're too close-minded, Rachel."
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
she says to when Rachel's leaving, then she's like, "Oh, make sure you close the door to my casket on your way out." I
Yeah.
love
God.
that argument. I love that
My
line.
favorite one is when Marilla goes to the
I
young
know what you're gonna
mother's
say. Yeah.
thing, and you know she was like, "Oh, did you do this? And
Oh, yes.
did you take off your
Did you bring your
garments
corset
and
to town
yeah,
hall?
bring your corset to town hall?" And Marilla goes, "We didn't
We
have
ran out
time
of
for that.
time."
We ran out of time."
We
I
ran out
thought
of time, yeah.
that was my favorite hands down. So I'm like, that is just so Marilla. Like Marilla just is a straight man in the relationship.
Yeah.
She wears the pants and
Uh,
Rachel just brings the tea, and it's just like, oh my God, like blah 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 blah. It's just like, oh God, I love it.
they're so good. I think we've got, like, in media nowadays as well, we sort of have this, like, predetermined sort of, like, idea in your head that unless you're, like, in your 20s or your 30s, like, you don't have a life after that.
That's true.
That just stops. You don't have friends anymore. You don't have a relationship. Like, you're 35 now.
have
How dare
any
you want to have friends?
It's just a good it's such a good representation, especially for certain age groups, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, I
That's
feel
true.
like there are not a lot of TV shows nowadays that have those
Uh-huh.
No.
bonds and those close relationship with
Yeah.
females and you know, female characters. You know, they just have them competing for a man, where it's like
Yeah.
Marilla and Rachel have grown up together, they know each other, and
Mhm.
they have their own lives, so they're not competing for anything. They have their own ideas and thoughts and, you know, beliefs,
And
and
personalities.
yes, and you know,
Yeah.
sometimes they get into arguments about that, but at the end of the day, you know, they know each other, they love each other, and
Yeah.
it's more about the friendship rather than, you know,
Yeah.
arguments
No,
and
it's
stuff.
super
Yeah.
refreshing to see like an older characters
Yes.
having a
Yes.
life, you know, and having these
Um,
long friendships.
A little favorite moment of mine is when I can't even remember what it was, but they get into this argument and Rachel's like huffing out, and Anne comes in and it's like, "Oh, it's so nice to see you be like friends for so long, whatever." And they just
Yeah.
like their facial expressions change and they realize. And I just love that moment so much.
That's in season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's nice, and because the two of them have taken such different paths in their life as well. Like one of them has
Yes.
gone on, she's got married, she's had children. The other one has stayed, like, you know, she's a spinster now, and then she kind of has this like unexpected motherhood sort of thrust upon her.
Yes.
And it's just like you think
Well-
that they should have sort of, you know, been able to have worked this through a bit better, but obviously Rachel has a lot of learning still to do. And but I think
Yeah.
the fact that the two of them have like gone such diverse paths and still managed to maintain a friendship is really lovely too.
And I love that they both have had their their growth together. You know, Marilla, like you said, went from being a spinster to a mother, but you know, we've seen Marilla grow from being this hardened, closed off woman to accepting Anne, accepting her adventures, accepting that, you know, she does love Anne. And with Rachel, she's gone from being very closed-minded, only thinking that, you know, you listen to what your husband says and that's it, where, you know, she's had these experiences in season 3 where she's like, you know, belittled for her beliefs and belittled for her thoughts and ideas and, you know, her gender. And and you know what, I think it was, I don't remember if she was told about Kekwet with the residential school yet. But I think it would have been interesting.
No, I don't think
I think it would have been an interesting development to see what Rachel would have thought, given what Kekwet and her family were going through, and you know, considering that Rachel was the one who pushed her to go to school, and you know, having to deal with the fact that, you know, she pushed this idea onto this family, and now they're suffering these consequences, and this poor young girl is suffering inside this school, and it's like now she has to live with that in herself every day, and I would have loved to see how that developed.
I think she would have had a similar reaction to when she found out about the schoolhouse, because like she found out and straight away she's like, oh my god, this is my fault, you know. I don't think that's the same Rachel that we would have seen in season 1.
No,
That's
not
true.
at all.
I
kind of like though that they show them to still be able to develop at that stage of their lives, because generally in media, like all of the growth happens like when you're very young, and by the time that you're like 25, you're kind of like a set person and you can't change again. Like your beliefs are immovable or whatever, but like how old are they supposed to be, like in their 60s?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
And they're both able to accept so much. This is like this is slightly off topic, right? But this is another thing that I really like as well. I know everybody has mixed feelings on Nate, but no, but I just think that the fact that they showed like that Marilla is able to have some sort of like, you know, feelings of desire still is so important too, because apparently, you know, you hit a certain age and that evaporates too. So
well, but even with Rachel and Thomas Lynn, you know, they were talking about at Prissy's wedding. They're like, you remember our wedding? We went through our
that was
so
such
fast.
Like they're always so like lovey-dovey, which you don't see at all in like on TV, like older couples and stuff.
Rachel and Thomas are Anne and Gilbert in 50 years.
Oh God, yeah.
They so are. Yeah.
100%. And given Rachel wears the pants in the relationship, and that would be Anne wearing the pants in the relationship. I mean,
wait, is Thomas Linda simp? What?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Wow. He simps for his wife. As he should.
For that.
Yes.
As the devil lobster should.
Okay, I promise I won't talk about Nutella anymore.
I do
I
love
agree.
That was a good one. I like that. That was really good. It was a good topic of discussion. It's a good, refreshing take on having older women have storylines that aren't just like either about men, either about them aging, or just like any other sort of terrible nonsense type thing. It's like these women are women. They have their own ideas. They have their own beliefs. They should be able to have their own storylines for themselves.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Marilla and Rachel, my favorite friendship.
Yes.
There you
Goals
are.
all the way.
Goals.
Yeah.
Even though I haven't given this much thought, but I can't get away from this, is I love Bash and Gilbert a lot. I think their relationship is just, I think it's really touching to have that relationship. You know, they aren't exactly the most, you know, if you saw them from the outside, you'd be like, how are they friends? You know, how are they brothers? You'd kind of be like, okay, you know, he's, I don't know, almost 30 and there's this kid who's like 18. How are they friends? Like, what is this? But I feel like they relate so well to each other because, you know, Gilbert and Bash experience certain things together and they learn to even each other out. You know, Bash brings Gilbert down to earth and gives him an understanding of like, okay, you are really privileged. You really had this privileged life. I didn't. This is what my life was like. And he helps him learn how to be a better person. And, you know, Gilbert allows Bash to, you know, be more relaxed and, you know, think more on the brighter side of things and, you know, just kind of bring out in a way kind of a childish manner where it's like they're allowed to just relax instead of being so tense all the time. And, you know, I really loved seeing how their relationship developed from, you know, kind of being friends and teasing to being brothers by the end of it, and having Gilbert be there for Bash when Mary passed and, you know, saying, you know, I've experienced this before with my father. We're going to get through this together. And I just really love to see it. And I think it just would have been interesting to see how their relationship develops even more now that, you know, Anne and Gilbert are together, and Bash of course loves Gilbert like a brother, and he loved Anne and stuff. And it's just like, I would have loved to see how it could have developed into more of a bond. And I would have loved to see, you know, how other people took it, and maybe Charlottetown, and how his roommates take it. Cause it's like, you know, Bash is a Black man, and that's it, I guess to people it's wrong to have that sort of friendship, and, you know, Bash and
especially
Gilbert,
in that time as well.
yeah. So, but I love it, and I think it's just a touching relationship, and I really like their bond as brothers, and I think that it just was a really great growth.
Yeah,
great
My
choice.
favorite thing about them. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
go ahead.
I really like about them that Moira just, like, when she wrote them, she just said, F you, toxic masculinity.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Well, they hug.
There's
hug,
the hand holding across the table as
Yes.
well.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Well, but
amazing.
it's also to comfort. He's just there. It's like, you know, he puts his hand on Bash's shoulder when he's just like giving him comfort. He pulls Bash in for a hug. He's providing him, like you said, with that handhold across the table.
Yeah.
I mean, so many TV shows shy away from that because they're just you know, if they do that, the men will be seen as, you know, too feminine, or, you know, they might consider
like fragile, whatever.
Fragile.
It's
It's like men can hug, men can cry, men can break down. It's like Bash and Gilbert have been allowed to do that, and they've been allowed to do it with each other, and that's just amazing.
I think so too. I don't think that that's like portrayed enough, and I think that like
definitely.
now especially, I don't know what, this is going to get very deep for just a second, okay? I don't know what like male mental health is like where you're from, but where I'm from, it's like a huge pandemic. There's like too many young men that are doing very, very drastic things because there's not enough support for their mental health, and they're told like they're not allowed to cry. We have this awful culture, which is like GAA culture. So all of the boys play like Gaelic football, and it's like very masculine, and there's sort of like a culture that comes with that you're not allowed to sort of express like any emotion with it. And there's just not enough portrayal of normal male relationships that show that males are allowed to have, like, you know, you don't have to be like really, really strong and really, really happy all the time. And you can relate to other men in what some people deem a more feminine manner, which is, you know, like being there for each other, sort of if somebody cries, like give them a hug and comfort them. I don't think that that's necessarily a feminine thing. I think that's just a human thing.
Agree.
But for some weird reason, it's sort of been lost in the pipeline. It's sort of just...
I agree with you. I mean, it's the same thing here. I mean, people say, you know, they have to do things a certain way. Men have to be the person who are always strong. They have to be the person who kill the spiders and stuff. And men can't be scared. Men can't be sad. Men constantly have to hold in their emotions and not let it out. And it's like Moira perfectly allowed these men to grow and form this bond in brothers. Like as Mary said, you know, they brought him here and they became brothers. And you know, it's not like this, it's this loving relationship that they've built, and it's wonderful. And, you know, I feel like it deserves to be shown in more media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
And
it
it's like
funny
not,
though that like that a female writing room can write male characters better than
Ugh,
a male writing room
always.
can?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Like they
Queens.
please just let women write everything because they do a better
Literally.
job.
Literally. Women do a better job.
But like,
in
it also
everything.
wasn't like in a way that, like, you wouldn't have thought it was written from a female perspective. Not that that matters, but like, it was so natural and so necessary.
Mhm.
that's what I was gonna say, because
Yeah.
it's like it's not in your face, right? It's not
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna make men emotional or whatever. It's just who they are,
Yeah.
and that's how it's written.
Well, yeah,
And, like,
exactly.
Yeah,
It just feels
Yeah.
human.
Mhm.
yeah,
It does. And I feel like I can relate to these characters even though they're men. You know, I can relate to Bash feeling horrible about losing the love of his, well, I can't actually relate to that because I've never lost the love of my life. But it's like, you know, losing someone who means a lot to you. I'm sure so
Yeah.
many people can relate to that. And, you know, having to be there for someone who's lost someone close to them and feeling their emotions and stuff, and, you know, having to pick up the pieces, and, or, you know, having to bring someone down to earth and remind them of, you know, certain beliefs you have aren't exactly the most, you know, should be held in a way. I don't know how to say it, but it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
just allowing them to get an understanding of the perspective another person has in them. And I don't know, I see a lot of my friendships in certain ways with Bash and Gilbert, you know, having relationships with my friends where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm the mother in the relationship and you're the, you know, friend, and you're helping me in tense situations and sad situations and comforting me, and I comfort you. And it's just like, that's what relationships are. It's not always about, you know, fighting. Like, I mean, like we said with Marilla and Rachel, it's not always about, you know, the girls or the boys. It's like, it's about other things. It's about your life, and it's not always about outside sources. It's about you as people as well.
Mhm.
yeah. And like going back to saying how it wouldn't make sense to other people, right? I think they found each other in at a time when they were in a similar situation where they were both alone
Mhm.
and didn't really have anyone. And Bash also realized that when he went to see his mum, and then she kind of like, you know, I mean, she didn't do it on purpose, obviously, but kind of turned him away. And like they just had each other and really no one else at that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why they're like so close. Like, I don't know. It's
mean,
just like,
I agree. I think they were looking for something, and they didn't know exactly what they were looking for,
yeah,
but what they were searching for, they found in each other.
yeah,
They were searching for some sort of, you know,
Family.
familiar, some sort
Yeah.
of bond, familiar
Yeah.
bond, and they found it in each other.
yeah. And it's so real because, like,
Mhm.
obviously they don't have the smoothest relationship all the time because they had that little, like, where Gilbert was clearly thinking about himself and, like, I'm going to just leave you here.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a lot of character growth for Gilbert happened there as well. Like, he realized that
Matured.
if you make a promise to someone, like, you have to keep it. And you can't just, like, you know, and you're not
He's
alone
had to do
anymore.
that 2 times. He's had to do that 2 times.
Yes.
Season 2 and season 3. He's had to mature a lot. But
Man, Gilbert, sometimes I love the guy,
kid,
but
I love him, but poor kid. He
dang.
just hasn't had the greatest of life and hasn't had the greatest of good thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's also like they also have this age difference as well. So it's like, even though they are, you know, different ages and different points in their life, you know, Bash is getting married to a woman he loves and he has a kid with her, and Gilbert's just starting to live his life, and they both have similar issues with, you know, society and expectations put on them. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's realistic, it's wonderful, and
it's funny too, like comedic relief
Yes!
as well. Like I love them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, who could go wrong? We've got great casting for it. I mean, Lucas
Yeah.
and Dalmar. I mean, come on.
Dalmar.
Dalmar. Oh,
Ah,
I love it.
love that guy. He is one king. We love one king.
oh, well, let's not get into that right now.
Hey,
I mean,
But
we
yeah.
could, but
We could, but we would be going
That
on
bridges
forever.
off of friendships, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. That was the one I just couldn't get. I love every friendship on this
Yes, it's
show.
like
I mean,
if I start talking about one thing in this show, I'm like, oh, but I love all aspects.
Yes.
of
yeah,
that
same,
certain
same.
thing.
I'm like, I do love Anna Diana's relationship. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Okay,
love
I'm
that so much.
gonna say
So-
something controversial,
Oh,
probably.
do
Ooh,
it. Say
Right.
it.
But I think I like Cole and Anne's friendship better than
Oh, me too.
Oh,
too.
God,
Is that
no.
controversial?
Yes.
No?
yes.
Maybe, but I love them
That's
more than I like.
controversial. I mean,
I was like, I don't know,
Well,
maybe it is.
the reason why I like Anne and Diana a lot, because it's like I feel like I relate a lot to their relationship, because I feel like I've had times where I've been new to a certain situation and I've formed close bonds with one person and I've continued that bond for a long time and felt like I'm sisters with them. So it's like I feel like I relate more to Anne and Diana's relationship or friendship than Cole and Anne. But I understand where you're coming from.
Like, I'm not diminishing their friendship at all.
No.
'Cause like,
Mhm.
obviously, they have like a really strong bond, and Diane is like always there for Anne.
Yeah.
Like, even in their little argument where like Anne was being a little dramatic as she is, I feel. Well, that's like what I feel,
Mhm.
where she was like, oh, you were thinking about yourself, which Diana doesn't do a lot. And I think Diana was at fault with Jerry, but not necessarily with Anne, and Anne kind of was like projecting. But
Mhm.
I don't know, Cole and Anne, I feel
They
like
just
they're
they
like,
understand each other from like a different perspective, and then like it's not that it's so much stronger. It's just like I
it's
appreciate
a
the
different
bond
dynamic
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
I think they
Well,
they're
both have an
both-
appreciation of what it feels like to be an outcast or like an
Mhm.
outsider as well.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what
They're
it
both
is.
outsiders. They're both considered outsiders in their own different way.
Wallflowers
Yeah.
come together.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
And
And just like-
Cole's there for her. Cole's there for her in
Yeah, exactly.
times of need. Diana, she gets it and she understands it, but I feel like Cole has this deeper understanding of what Anne's been through, because Diana's hasn't had the chance to experience that herself, and Cole kind of has.
Yeah.
But
Like,
he helps her
Diana's
too. When they were in the orphanage, like the way he explains it to
Yes.
her, like really helps her.
Yeah, and it's not like Diana is a bad person for not understanding it. It's just that it's just a different way that she understands Anne and how Cole understands
And
her.
I think Diana's just like unconditionally loves Anne, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
she's just
Oh, yeah.
accepting. She accepts it, but she can't fully understand.
Yeah. She can't fully empathize because she doesn't really understand where she's coming from with
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Whereas I think he can empathize a lot better with her, and their relationship because of that is so much gentler, where they both kind of like it's not as intense as what it is with Diana, where like if they're having a really good time, they're having a really good time. But if like when theoretically like the shit hits the fan, it's fireworks.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's because they love each other so much. It's just this really, it's not like a, romantic love. It's more of a, really deep friendship love that you have for someone. And it's like, they both have these really strong feelings of love for each other. And they were the first people to bring them, they were each other's first friends and stuff. And, Diana brought Anne under her wing, and Anne brought Diana to a certain level of understanding of life. And, I think it's more of a love relationship versus Cole is just like a great friend. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's a different type of friendship.
Difficult
And
to like explain it, right? I don't know what it is. There's just something.
it's just a different relationship, and it's a great relationship. Friendship, yes, my apologies.
Would you say that's your favorite, Sav? Your favorite friendship?
Cole
or-
and Anne, I can't decide.
It's too hard. I know.
I mean,
I feel like we were saying like, oh, talk about your favorite Anne Lee relationships, and we're like, okay, we've got this one, and then it's just like, is this your favorite? You're like, no, yes, I don't know. Everyone's my favorite. I mean, I'm just now like thinking about other ones, and I'm like, well, I also like this one, and I like this one, so it's like, I don't know. it's.
I mean, we haven't even spoken about Anne and Coquette yet. So, like,
Oh,
I
right?
don't know.
oh my gosh. Well, and then I was just thinking about like Miss Stacy and Bash. I was like, well,
Mm,
ah,
that little tidbit that we got.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know if I want it. Like, I don't know. I don't know if
I
I
would've
want it
been-
to be a relationship.
I would have been interested in it. I think if Moira had
do.
decided
It would have
if she
been
wants,
interesting.
it
Mhm.
would have been so interesting because it would have been an interracial relationship in a time period where it's not accepted, and it's like they've both lost ones they've loved, the one person they love the most in this world, their
Yeah.
significant other, and they both have like this, bond and love for the people around them, and it just would have been such an interesting relationship. But I
Yeah,
also
and
would have been like, I would have been totally cool if they just stayed as like
Yeah.
these awesome friends.
friends.
I
And
kind of
also
do
the
feel
fact
like we
that-
were being set up though for a
A
relationship to come
relationship.
from it. Yeah.
Mm.
I think there
Probably.
was something in the crying over not having children that stuck with me and made me think, you know what, Mariel, I don't think you have to wait too long.
I know.
I think that's going to happen pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think it would have been interesting to see Miss Stacy with Deli as well. Because
Yeah.
like
Well,
even when Marilla had her, like people were giving her all this like
all
crap
these
for
loves.
it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know, it would have been amazing.
Yes.
Well, and it just also would have been interesting and awesome to see Muriel's softer side, because
Yes.
Muriel has the soft side, and she's constantly has her walls, kind of like Anne. She has her walls up because
I mean,
she's
she
a
is
female
Anne.
teacher.
Yeah,
She's
she is
yes,
Anne.
she is Anne, but
Mhm.
she's a female teacher, and it's a male dominated society, and she has these forward thinking thoughts, and it's like she's not allowed to have these types of things, and she's constantly thought down of because of her gender, and it's like it just would have been so interesting, and I'm just like,
I think even just as a friendship, like because they're, I think the closest to our age, like the most we can relate to. Like
Yes.
that's what I
Yeah.
love so much about it, and it
That's
had so
true.
much potential. And like as we mentioned, like they lost people, but like just the way they'd grow, and like Bash would have somebody closer to his age, and not
Mhm.
to not for it to not be like Gilbert or Matthew, right? Or like Marilla.
Right.
And
Like,
somebody I think that's able to sort of like understand his perspective a little bit
Yeah.
more as well.
Exactly.
I think that the two of them probably would have helped with like the healing process or the grieving process a lot better than anybody else would have been able to have in their time.
Yeah.
and like realistically, all like Bash and Mary, the only people that were accepting of them were the Cuthberts, right? So
Yeah.
it's like
Mhm.
none of them are their age, or like,
Yeah.
well, Mary's gone now, but just gonna shed a silent tear.
Yes.
But you
You're
know,
so devious. What a cackle there.
She's like, yeah, she's dead.
yeah, no, I'm more so like I can't watch
Ill-timed
that.
cackle.
No, I was just laughing at I was
Grieving
laughing.
processes here.
Grieves
that's staying in,
differently.
by the way.
No, I was just more so thinking about like I was laughing at Sav's little like shedding a silent tear. I just thought it was funny the way she said it.
But yeah,
But I can't watch that episode without crying. So thanks, Cara, for your acting. I love you. I don't hate you.
love you,
Shout
Cara.
Shout out to Cara.
Shout out to Cara.
Not that we would want anyone to like replace Mary. We love you, Cara. We love you as Mary. And we loved Mary and Bash's relationship.
Please
it's
come
just-
back as a ghost.
Yes.
That's me.
I hope you're
I
not
know
listening to this. I hope you're
Or
not
like,
listening
oh,
to this.
Or like flashbacks, you know?
Yes,
I just want
flashbacks would be
that.
lovely.
We
No,
get the Christmas that we missed, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
Or but I feel like Mary.
Saturday morning cooking lessons.
Yes. Oh.
Okay,
Damn
but
it.
I feel like Mary would have been the type of person who would have told Bash like, okay, you don't need to mourn me forever. Find
Yeah,
someone
I agree.
else. I feel like she
Mhm.
would have been like that type of person who's like, don't mourn me
Yeah, for
forever.
sure,
You
yeah.
can't.
She totally
I
would have
wanna-
been like a PS I love you, or,
Yeah.
writing letters from the grave, and he just
Yeah, like,
finds them.
let's fucking go.
Yeah,
let's
no,
go.
like we're gonna bump that out, but time to meet somebody new, maybe.
Get out there. you
Dear
guys.
Bash. Dear Bash, I see you sitting at home with Deli all day. What are you doing? Why aren't you out flirting with other women? You are so hot. Yes, I love you, Mary.
You are so hot.
Dear Bash, please stop hanging around with an 18-year-old. It's weird.
And another 18-year-old. Like,
Dear Bash,
And your
stop trying
mother.
to make, stop trying to, live your life through Gilbert. It's not happening. He's happy as it is. P.S. I still love you, Mary.
oh my god. Okay, let's move on.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Oh.
Now I pictured. Have you ever seen have you ever seen a film before called Over Her Dead Body? Or over?
No.
Oh, I've heard of it. I
Have
watched
you-
it years ago.
It's got I think it's got Eva Longoria in it,
Yes,
and
yes,
now I'm just picturing like Mary as
no.
season 4's ghost, just watching silently as Muriel sort of
Judging
worms
everything.
her way
I
in
wouldn't
there.
mind. I wouldn't mind.
Okay,
No,
but
seriously.
honestly, she would have side-eyed like the living,
She would have side-eyed the entire like sherbet.
Oh, for sure.
Sure.
Oh God, she would have just been like, "Excuse
What
me,
are
Like
you
Gilbert,
playing
you
at?
did.
are you serious,
That
honey?
was episode 6.
I
Get-
told
get
you to
your-
marry for love.
Get your schnikes together. Get your schnikes together.
Yeah,
Schnikes is the
anyhow.
word I use instead of the S word because
Nah.
I want to get demonetized. Well, not that we're getting any money for that.
Monetized.
We're not getting any money anyways. We don't want it. But just making it family friendly. This is family friendly podcast,
Family
guys.
friendly entertainment.
Yeah.
This is very PG.
This is going off the rails. I'm so sorry.
It's the end of the year. We're all a little tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
Layla.
Yes. Oh my god, I literally don't know who to pick to talk about, but since we've
How
already
dare you.
covered like the girls kind of and the boys and whatever, so I'm just gonna go
The
with
girls
Aunt
and
Joe
boys.
and Anne, or Aunt Joe and anybody really, because I feel like
I thought you were gonna say Aunt Joe and Rolling.
oh well, yeah,
That's
I'm
cute.
getting there. I'm getting there.
She's getting there. She's getting there, Evelyn.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because I said Aunt Joe and anyone anyway. Yeah, just like beyond being like a friend, she's a mentor as well, and like she just
Yeah.
takes in like the strays and the outcasts, it kind of seems like, and like
And the
she
gays.
gives them and the gays and gives them, I don't know, new life, new hope or something. And so that's why I was
And a
thinking
new
like
wardrobe. Oh my goodness.
and the war
Ah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Cole is
like
loaded.
crazy.
Seriously, fair play.
She's the Tyra Banks of and with an E without all the incidences of being, complete a-hole to any
Oh.
character.
Uh-huh.
She's a mother.
Tyra
She's the
Banks,
mother
I
they
love it.
never had. She's the mother they never had, and she
Yeah, the like
takes on that role.
the
gives
auntie,
advice.
not mother.
Oh yes,
New
yes.
wardrobe.
No, she's the wonderful aunt.
Yeah.
Say aunt. It's aunt. It's not aunt. It's aunt.
Let's
yeah.
not argue over accents right now, folks.
Do that.
Let me just
Because
keep
I
that
think we're
in.
going to have a big variation.
I feel
Go
like
on. Go
the
on.
backstory with Rowlings would have been amazing because I feel like he's also some kind of outcast wallflower.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Mhm.
back to Anne. Like she just helps her through, honestly, from the first moment that she met her to like season 3. Like there's just such a great bond built there, and like she does things out of the goodness out of her heart, I guess.
They
and,
didn't.
Well,
They didn't.
They
meet
didn't start off on the
after-
good note, though. They didn't
No.
start off on a good note. Like,
Did they
And I
jump
kind of
on her
like
bed?
that she sort of
like she kind of
brought out
judges
of shell a
her, but
little.
like
yeah. But like once she sees that Anne saves Minnie Mae, she like everyone decides to be like, oh, I'm interested in this girl, and she talks about I think it's the Jane Eyre book.
Yeah, Jane Eyre.
Yeah.
Jane Eyre. And she's like, oh, I can relate to this, young woman, and help
Yeah.
her into, help her understanding what she wants in her future.
yeah,
And
but she
she
wasn't like
doesn't,
innocent.
Sorry, she's like
No, go ahead.
Anne doesn't shut up about the book, right? So she's
Yeah.
like giving spoilers left, right, and center.
Yeah, she's like waiting.
And
She's like,
No spoilies.
shut up.
And Aunt Joe's just like, I mean, I have a friend like that about
Yeah.
spoilers. Shout out to May if you're listening. And I'm so bad. Like, I relate so hard to Anne. Like, I
Okay,
can't
but
spoilers.
I'm also like that. I like that with Becky's fic. Becky had to be like, you are spoiling my fic on the timeline, so I had to put
Well,
on.
it wasn't that you were spoiling. It was another one that you had spoiled that I was reading too. And so I wrote it to me just being like, please include a spoiler warning because this just popped up on my timeline and I
Yeah.
didn't really want to see it right now because I haven't read it yet. But you've
I'm
been
a
very
bad
good
person.
since. She
Yeah.
does post spoilers now, and I in all
I
fairness.
don't. I avoid reading about fics on the timeline just because I haven't had a chance to read any for a while. But
And I've been very slow with reading at the minute too. But
But back
We'll
to
get
Rolling's,
there.
or back
Sorry.
to Aunt Joe. Back to
Rolling,
Aunt Joe.
Aunt Joe.
Yeah,
Aunt Joe.
great character. But like also, now I'm moving on to another pair because I love them so much. But like Jeannie and Matthew, besides like their potential for a
Yeah.
romantic relationship, like as friends, like she was such a good friend to him. Like even after all those years, like she gave the money to Anne, she gave her dress back, like this.
Well, and like
And
I
love
love how
that
she
relationship.
understood Matthew. You know, she
Yeah,
understood where
and she understood him so well. Yeah.
and she understood where she stood with him. You know,
Mhm.
I think she would have loved to have some sort of romantic relationship with him, but you know, she wasn't the person who was making fun of him and was, you know,
No.
trying to,
Mhm.
you know, coax him out of whatever he's doing by making fun of him and stuff. She, you know, coaxed him out of his shell by being like, you know, I remember you when you were in school, you did this and this, and I remember how horrible of a time this was, and I'm here to help you in any sort of capacity.
Yeah.
And was she presumably she was married and she was a widow, or do they ever
Yeah.
mention whether she's married or
think
not? I
so.
don't remember.
I think she was married and then
so.
her husband passed away.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's widowed.
Single and ready to mingle.
She's single and married.
But unfortunately, Matthew
She's
is
also in
not.
Paris.
Is not.
Oh well, you know, there's probably a lot of men in Paris, so that's all good.
Yeah.
Wait, she went to Paris? What? I didn't remember.
she
Yeah,
went to
remember?
Paris.
She was like, I'm
Yeah,
not going
yeah.
to Paris again. They wear trousers there.
They wear
Remember?
trousers in
Yes. Jeez, blonde moment.
and she
But-
went off to Paris. Yeah.
And she also came in when Matthew had that whole moment with the gun.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that was such an intense moment, right? And she's not expecting anything from that. She's just there for
No,
like them
exactly.
as a friend.
Mhm.
And I think
Yeah.
that's really, really nice.
It was such
I
like
think
a
I would like
nice
to see
side.
more of her. Like I would like her to come back. Like if
For
she
sure.
came back in any capacity at all, I would take it. She was a lovely character, and I think we
You know
could have
what we
expanded
need?
on her more.
A spin-off with Rolling's Aunt Joe, and then we have like Jeannie and Winnie in Paris, and we just get like this little like soap opera
Of the Richies.
series,
Yeah.
with all the side characters, please.
You know who I want to see a little bit more of? Do you call it Malcolm Frost?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see more of
Good.
him.
I
Give us
want to know
more
his
Malcolm
backstory.
Frost.
That would have been so cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize who this was, and I'm like, who is it?
Is his name right? Do I have it
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's
No,
Malcolm.
yeah, you're right. Well, he's an
Um,
interesting fellow. I would have loved to
yeah.
see, because he knew about like the
Yeah.
gold fraud stuff. So it's like I would have loved to see more of that.
And he gives, I think this is really interesting, he gives Anne the little diary, and he tells her, you know, you write down her observations and things. And like in season 1 and 2, she's more focused on fiction and making up all these like funny little stories in her head. And then in season 3, she shifts into like journalism instead.
Yeah.
She works for a newspaper.
Exactly.
She writes articles for it. She sees things that she thinks are unfair, and she feels compelled to write about them instead of like sort of fictionalizing everything like she had done beforehand. And I think that he has a lot to play with that. I like to think he has a lot to play with that. I want to see him again.
I wonder if it would come back with the whole Coquette thing that she said she was going to write about, and he
Yes.
obviously works for some kind of news report something. So
He probably has
we're used to.
connections, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
I know
can
he's
come
not
back.
really relevant to the right now, but I just thought
No,
I
I like that. I
That's
drop
very
that in.
I would have loved to see more of Anne and Gilbert's friendship. And
Oh,
in
yes.
his season 4, I would have loved to see, even though they're in a relationship, I would have loved to see them more further their friendship as well.
Yeah.
Because I know we did get some of it in season 2 and season 3, but I felt that it was more focused on the relationship, and which I don't mind. I'm a Sherbert fan. Through and through, I'm a stan. I mean, I loved the relationship building and stuff, and you know, I just in a season 4, I wish we could have seen how their friendship develops now that they are in a relationship, because it's not always just about loving the other person. It's about accepting the other person and allowing them to grow, and you know, having insecurities and stuff, and you know, seeing that person every single day and loving them as a friend, but also in a romantic manner.
I think when we got to season 3, suddenly like they were older, and you could feel a sense of like friendship had already
Mhm.
developed, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just a little sad that we didn't get to see that relationship. Like,
Right.
I'm sure they've had family dinners together, or like
Yeah.
spent Christmas together, or like Anne going over to help Mary with the
Oh,
baby.
Yeah.
And Gilbert just casually walking around the house, and
Always
they like
there.
talk.
Well, and
know,
what
and,
what I was gonna say is, like you said, it's gotten to the point where they're comfortable around each other, where Anne is able to understand, like, with just one look, that something's wrong. Like in, when Mary's dying in 303, and then in 308, with just one look, she can see that something's
Yeah.
up.
And like a massive indication is also that the girls have accepted the fact that these two are friends. They don't say anything.
Yeah.
And then they even like encourage her to
Mhm.
go talk to him. Like she's the spokesperson to talk to Gilbert, like I just would have liked to see some of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of like filling in for the audience to do, and I was just like, we should have seen that. So like,
I wish we could have seen
I
that.
don't know, to feel the
But we
pining
have
and
very
angst
large
more, but,
imaginations.
like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
well, yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
helpful.
of course.
That's what fan fiction's for, guys.
Yeah.
And I think as well, because in the book, like there's 3 books, I think, isn't it, before they get engaged?
My God,
Um,
it's insane. It's like every single chapter, it's like Gilbert is, oh my God, please love me, and Anne's just like, no,
I still hate you.
No.
It's like, it's been 4 years, honey, get over it. But I mean, I get, but she doesn't need to get over it. I mean, she has every right to be mad, and she has every right to be upset with him. But it's
she
like,
need to be so mad,
Yeah,
though.
but Anne with an E,
I don't-
Anne wasn't though.
LMM,
She was like,
No, she
over it.
wasn't.
She was like,
yeah, she was over
No.
it.
I just think
But-
because in the books you sort of see like their friendship develop a bit better. It would have been nicer to have seen it develop on screen as well.
yeah.
But
I
then
agree.
we wouldn't have had the dance scene and all of those lovely things too. So
I
we take
agree.
what we
So
can get.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
fill in the rest with fan fiction.
Yes,
We
and
just
fan art.
Exactly.
We just need a season in between.
Season 2.5.
2.5. Yes, that's it.
Yes, please.
Season
We don't even
2.5.
need, we don't need an A with an E season 4. We need an A with an E season 2.5
Let's go.
It doesn't even need to be like 8 episodes or 10 episodes. It could be like, 1.5
3?
episodes. Maybe not
Excuse
even.
me. 1.5
feature-length
episodes.
movie.
No, what? No,
Listen,
no,
I'm
no.
cutting down the costs here. I'm thinking about the money.
I don't
Yeah,
care
they're
about
like
the money. I
6
want to see
hours
it
long,
well
sure.
developed.
Listen, I want to see it too, but honey, it's going to cost some money.
1.5 is not enough for me. No.
No.
It needs to be a
not
full
enough for me.
tenor bust.
I mean, Dairy Girls was only 6, and it's like cutting it short.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
have to collect up all the costumes again and the props from all the fans, just like in a dingy studio.
And also, like,
We'll shoot it on an
make them look
iPhone.
younger so that
Yeah.
you get the 2.5
Fan
vibes.
made.
We'll shoot on
Just
an
like-
iPhone. Someone's going to do the makeup. Someone's going to do the
I'm
script. I
sure.
mean, we've got some great fan fiction
Layla
writers.
can
so
do the
make-
makeup. I've seen
Yeah,
the
no
makeup.
Layla can do
problem.
the
I can
makeup. Becky can do the script writing.
right, yeah.
I'm happy to like film. but
Yeah,
not that
do
I'm
the
great at
visual.
it.
Yeah, all the
I
I guess,
editing and
I guess
everything.
I'll be the director. I guess I'll be the
Yeah.
actor.
Right,
We're
all we
done.
need
We're
is some
gonna make
actors
it.
and we're good to go.
We got this in the bag, guys. We got this in the bag,
Yeah.
ladies.
And you know what? We don't even have to worry about COVID because there's going to be no smooching in season
Yes.
2.5. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's
I
go.
don't
Let's
know.
go,
Here too.
ladies. No, but I feel like this is a great segue into our shout outs of the episode.
Oh wait, can we
Yes.
talk about friendships
Oh, yes.
we want to see?
Sure.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Too long?
yes.
So Lily and Co, basically Lily and the Avonlea girls.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Yes.
are so robbed.
So rough.
First of all, like the representation, of course, of Lily, but like
Yeah, of
just
course.
I feel like
Ah.
she would have been like a
Kindred
easily
spirit.
swayed, yes, kindred spirit that was like doing things behind Miss Blackmore's back. Like
I
They
also
would've
feel
gotten
like
up to
she
miss
would
so
have
funny.
been like turning a blind eye to a lot as
Yes.
well. Like I reckon she probably would have seen some climbing through windows and maybe
Oh,
some
yeah.
shadows
And been
sneaking
like,
across the garden
Well,
very late at
and I
night, and
also-
she would have just pretended she didn't see anything.
But I also
I
feel
lo-
like the girls would have taken her under their wing and like allowed her to develop some sort of like childish wild side as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Because in the casting, she's meant to be only like 16 or something, isn't she?
Yeah.
I think I've read
Yeah.
the casting for that actress
Exactly.
before,
And it was
and
like
she is meant to be quite young.
it was like at one episode in season 3 and potential for season 4, which made me
Mhm.
so sad. Do you remember? Like we found that
Don't
out.
even get me started.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
even get
yeah,
me
that
started.
was-
I will rant about it. Yeah.
So sad. Who
For
else?
mine, I would have. Well, I already said mine. I would have loved to see Anne and Gilbert's friendship develop.
Mhm.
I have a really random one. I'm just gonna say it anyway though.
What?
I really would like to see Prissy and Elijah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that would
Yeah.
be interesting.
I see big,
Ooh, yeah.
fantastic things coming along here because I know that a lot of people sort of want Prissy to go to Paris and
Yeah, with
find
Winnie,
find Winnie and things like that. Winnie's in Paris. I
Mm-hmm.
particularly don't want to see Winnie again, but that's just my personal opinion.
It's just personal.
Goodbye.
It's my opinion.
Don't tell Erica. Don't tell Erica. She's gonna.
She's gonna hear this. Eric, I'm sorry. It's never gonna happen. Winbirth just isn't gonna work for me.
You're
But yeah, no, that's really interesting.
That's interesting,
Becky.
Yeah, the race thing firstly, then secondly, like he presumably is going to be able to learn some like farming skills and things. Like he's going to be living in like a farming community now.
Mhm.
But also we know that she isn't getting the farm because her dad is a douche.
Oh.
Then I thought like the two of them could have teamed up together, could have bought some land. The Andrews
Oh,
farm would have
wow.
gone out of business while
Yes.
the Elijah Hanford, or not the Elijah Hanford, sorry, the
Hanford
Andrews
LaCroix.
Hanford farm would have flourished under her
Okay.
guidance and him sort of doing all the manual work. And I just think it would have been really cool. I headcanoned it one
Wow.
day and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since my imagination conjured it up.
That's amazing. I love
And-
that.
Girl, write that fic. Write the fic.
Eh,
Like I we didn't get to see like Prissy with Bash in any context, I don't think.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
maybe she would be open to it.
because it like firstly I was like, well, this is kind of cool. Like I sort of ship them. I think that would be kind of cool together.
Yeah.
And then they started hinting towards Mariel and like Miss Stacey and Bash, and I thought
Mhm.
I'm not really sure if they would do like two like interracial relationships. It's quite a small community,
Yeah.
and it's something obviously in the context of the time wouldn't really have happened that much. So I thought maybe a business partnership between the two of them would be kind of cool to have explored instead. It's random, I know. Everybody
No,
that's
no,
listening
it's
to this will probably
interesting.
be
No, it
like,
makes sense.
"What are you thinking?"
No, no, I love
But
it.
I
think it's
actually do like
interesting.
it.
I don't think Elijah would want to necessarily stay maybe under Bash his entire
Yeah.
life. Hopefully he turns into a better man and a better person
He
Yeah.
and
was,
then goes explores his
was.
own thing, you know?
I also
And
kind of think as well, because we know already that Prissy isn't looking for a relationship. She said already she doesn't really
Yeah.
want a relationship. So I know that some people do like to sort of headcanon relationships for her in the future, whether that's with Winnie, whether that's with somebody else. I personally would rather that she stayed single simply because we know canonically from the show that she's not looking for a marriage. She doesn't want a relationship.
Mhm.
So I thought maybe a
She's
business
gonna be
partnership
that
would be cool to explore.
strong, independent woman.
Yeah. She wears a bow tie and she rocks at life. And
Oh, yeah.
she's, yeah.
Oh,
I have fully
no.
headcanoned Jerry and Tilly as well.
Yes,
and
you
I
did.
spout
Oh.
about this on the timeline all the time.
Mhm.
I love them. Oh my goodness.
Sav?
and Minnie, May, and Delphine, right? In the
Yes.
future,
Mhm.
Oh.
they're going to be best friends because
They
Minnie
are.
May called her a chocolate princess. Was it?
God, I love Minnie May. Minnie May's
Oh.
queen.
They're gonna cause so much trouble.
I mean, there's a
That'd be
bit of an
perfect.
age gap, but like, and I don't think they'd be friends. Oh, maybe they will.
I mean,
Like-
we've been led to believe that Bash and Gilbert can be friends, and they've got a bigger age gap than
Mhm.
Minnie May
Yeah.
and Deli
Yeah.
will.
I was just
Speaking of
thinking in terms
Gilbert,
of
like
couple.
Gilbert with anybody would be
Just
a
give him a
friend.
friend.
Friends his age. Besides Anne, he just needs some friends.
I know that like he matured faster than the other kids and stuff, but it's just so sad
It's
to
so
like
sad.
see him just not being able to connect almost
Mm.
with
Mhm.
any of the boys. Like he's friendly and helps them out, and like obviously when Moody hurt his leg and stuff.
Mhm.
But he treats him like a patient
Yeah.
Yeah.
and not like
Yeah.
a friend in those scenes.
I don't know, maybe it'll get better as the other kids kind of mature as well. But then again, now he's off in
Yeah.
Toronto.
Where did
Toronto.
he go? Toronto. I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
where did he go? You
Gilbert
know?
just needs some friends.
Yeah.
Homeboy needs
A
friends.
roommate
2K forever.
in Toronto. Yes,
I think
please.
you see him very disjointed in any of the classroom scenes, but I think one scene that you kind of notice that he's like super isolated in is when they're, you know, the crown shyness, where they're walking through the forest.
Yeah.
And Miss Stacy's talking about the trees and stuff, and the girls are like, oh, birds and bees, and giggling and things. I think he's very, like, he looks very disjointed from the rest of the group in that scene, because
All by
like
himself,
Charlie's
right?
sort of tailing Anne, and Ruby and Diana are following, and they're sort of whispering, and, you know, Tilly's with the Pauls, and everybody's sort of partnered up with somebody else, and he's kind of just by himself, sort of just wandering.
He was also eyeing up Charlie, who's eyeing up
Yeah.
Anne. He's like, what are you doing, dude? That's not your girl.
And I think he was too, especially because he's walking directly behind Diana and Ruby, and the two of them are whispering about it.
Yeah.
And he probably hears everything, like all the gossip. That luscious head of curls is probably full of
Full of
gossip.
secrets.
That's why his hair is so
And
big.
secrets.
Full of secrets.
Like he does that also in like Sav's Ladle Guild, but like during the exams result, he's like literally in the little corner, like
Oh,
you know.
stop. I love that
No,
one.
I'm gonna cry. Like, I'm tired today. I'm emotional. I'm gonna cry over
Well,
You guys can't see
Anyway.
it, but she's very distressed.
anyways, I think we all have such wonderful ideas of the relationships, and I loved hearing these relationships and the possibility of what we wished we could have seen. So I think this is now going to be a great segue into some things that make us smile, some shout outs that we have for this episode. So I've been thinking about this one a lot, and these are just some things that really made me smile, made me happy. This happened, I think, like 2 weeks ago now, when everybody had to change their profile picture.
Oh my god.
Gumbert and Annie, like, oh my god, it created so much chaos on the timeline. It was so much fun. And I started the game because Sid, who is wonderful, created the picture for Meg and Megan and Gumbert and Annie for Megan's
Annie with the sty.
Annie with a sigh. And I felt like, okay, not many people are going to have this. It's not going to go very far. It's just going to be a few things. And then it was just like the entire timeline. It was just like, okay, this person had to change their profile picture because of this. And it just like erupted. And I just felt like it was such a fun day of people like being on Twitter and being like, oh, you didn't get me. So I thought that was good. And then also the reveal of the Avonlea bar.
Yes.
I thought that was hilarious. I know in our pie group chat, I spent the entire time accusing Becky, which she did. She was kind of in on it.
I thought it was Becky for the
I thought it was
longest
Becky
time.
too. But Evelyn came at my throat. Like, it was probably that. And I'm like, since when?
Okay, but you were doing like the same emojis the girls were. They were like doing the side eye emoji. I'm like, honey, you're in on this. Like, you know, but it was just like everybody was accusing everybody on the timeline. It was like, you're the part. And it was like, no, you're the part. It was like, well, no.
But like, I mean, me and Layla are we're both in Story Club, right? So it's like it's our book club. Nobody else knows this because this has been happening in our chat for like a few weeks, but we've all been accusing each other for a very long time. And then there were little things that happened that I sort of cottoned on. Oh, here, that's Irish. That's Irish. And then I sort of slid into Andrea's. So I slid into her DMs one day. And I was like, you know what? You sort of have dropped your Irish here. Like, you know, I can tell that this is...
Came with receipts.
Yeah, that this is somebody that's a little bit Irish. So we had a little poetry battle in her DMs. And she said to me, she was like, can you keep a secret? And then automatically I went, no, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Keep it a surprise. But I knew at that stage, I was almost like 99% positive at that stage that it was her. And then everybody else started in that group chat started accusing me too. And I don't know why, but I think Irish people must just seem like they're really shifty or something. Because
and the poetry that you had, and I was like, how quick you were to like my tweets. I was like, honey, you are switching back and forth between accounts. It was just like, it was a fun time yesterday night.
Yeah, it was.
I think it, and I don't know. I love that. And even though it's been,
she has so much on her plate at the minute. Like, she teaches too, and like obviously anybody that's teaching at the minute knows it's very stressful. We have a pandemic that we're up against, plus like a lot of kids and stuff in the room. Like, she deals with that every single day. She was coming home. I don't think that she forgot like anybody or maybe like if she has, like she's tried to get around like as many people as she could. It was brilliant. Big props. Well done.
Yes,
And
big
you know
props.
Yeah.
And she kept it up for,
So
A
long.
while.
couple months. It was a couple months.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was a month. It was a month exactly because the 22nd of November, I think it started.
Well, and then she also made sure, I feel like, to hit almost every single person in this fandom and give them some really nice poem.
Yeah, and like obviously you can't do that without knowing a person, you know?
Yeah.
So that means that she put in the time to like see what all these people were like. I was just surprised it was one person.
I thought it was, the story, not the storybook, the book club group chat that Layla, you're in. I was like, it's 100. Are you and Becky are in? I was like, it's 100% all of you guys. Like, you guys are taking part of it. I was like, I was going in on it, but I thought those two events, which got the fandom really up and going, and like you pop it on that timeline, it's just those things really make me happy. So big props to big props to Andrea, and this is gonna sound so narcissistic.
And you? It's okay, I'll say it. And Evelyn for Gumbert and Annie.
Annie with the sty.
Just crazy eyes.
Sheer bullying.
But you know what?
It was fun.
It was fun, but it was also mental if you're in a group chat with anybody and you didn't know who you were speaking to.
Oh my God.
Because I was going through and I was like, I think it was Erica I was talking to, and I was like, who are you? Like, who am I talking to here? And she just kept writing back, Gumbert. Please, just give me a straight answer. Who am I speaking to?
Well, and it was funny on the timeline. It was just like, I just remember like scrolling and to be like, oh, all I see is Gumbert and Annie. All I see is Gumbert and Annie. And then it'd just be like, I remember at one point someone like tagged me and was like, okay, so like, what are the rules of this? If I tag someone once, does that mean, and they didn't get it, do I get to tag them again? I was like, I did not think about it this far. Like, that's your choice now.
I got caught when I was sleeping. So who tagged me? Was it Layla?
I think it was me.
I think it was Evelyn.
I think it was me.
Yeah, I got really mad, didn't I? No, I didn't actually get mad, but
I've got you, Becky, or not Becky.
You didn't catch
you,
me.
Erica, and I don't think
Tried to get me, but you did not.
I tried to get you. I was so mad. I was so mad because it was like, you were going to take a test. I was like, guys, someone tag her while she's taking a test. And no one did it. I was like, well, I've already tagged people, so I can't. But I was so mad.
And I got caught by MVs when I was in the shower, and I was like, it's just honestly, I go into the shower and like one person, I come out and I'm like filthy old Gumbert and Annie with the sty. Miss my poor potatoes so much.
I was really mad because I had a little bit of a spelling error in it. It was like, I was supposed to say like the fic was made by Megan and then the picture was made by Sid, but it was like, it basically was like, oh, made by it wasn't really understandable. Like I forgot a word or something, so I was like seeing people copy like the kind of rules in a way. I was like, no. So
it's okay.
Shout out.
It was just me. But
Becky,
anyway,
that's because we make mistakes and we don't notice all the time.
Called out.
Someone likes the tweet and you're like, oh no.
Like yours. No. Oh my God, like yours.
My ends with an E.
Oh God. That is the best tweet of all time. It was like, and then I remember you retweeted. You're like, sick.
Yes, and a shout out to Anne with an E, Advent.
Yes, the devil lobsters this week.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
The letters, there's so many things. They're
and
also
we can all confirm that her name is Neve.
Oh yes, Neve.
Yes.
Neve.
No,
and then also seeing everyone's outfits. Like I saw some people on the timeline with some costumes from
show costumes.
I just have to say, Becky, your coat was so cute.
Oh, incredible.
Oh my God.
Such a beautiful coat.
That was awesome.
I got that coat last year as a Christmas present, but I had to drop hints for like a whole, I think about 6 months for it to be picked up on. It's like, hey, because my birthday's in the summer, right? So I was thinking it might have been, like hit in the summer. And it was like, you know what I really want? And I just was like opening it up on like my phone and just like sighing over it when other people were like, they picked up by Christmas time.
It
so
worked.
It's lovely.
worked
It's
eventually.
gorgeous.
Yours now, yes.
Thank you very much. It is my Diana Barry coat. That's what I
Yes,
call
It's
it.
beautiful.
is,
I loved it.
100%.
What else was there? Like there was the Ruby finds out prompt.
Yes.
Double lobster.
There's been so many like
letters.
and you can just
The
join in whenever.
Mrs.
You know?
Lind letters.
Yes, those are
Yes.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Well, and then also when write a letter to Moira talking about why
Yeah.
you love the
Oh,
show
yeah.
stuff, and Moira read and like literally liked every single.
Oh
minute
yeah,
of
she
it.
noticed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
The project itself too. Like it was so sweet.
yes.
No, but like my favorite was probably regardless of artistic talent,
Yeah.
please share your drawing of talent. Oh, it was so good. All the
Yeah.
everyone interpreted it as double lobster.
Devil Lobster.
Yeah,
constantly.
Devil Lobster.
I think I only saw one that was like actually him.
Yeah.
Like normal, yeah.
Yeah, like normal. Or it wasn't even him normal. It was, the behind the scenes photo.
It was Layla, wasn't it?
That was me.
It was you. Oh my
Okay, but
God,
that's
Leila.
my favorite. That is my
I love that
favorite
so
No, but
picture.
I can't draw wrinkles, and he looks not like himself. But
It was,
But I love that behind the
of
scenes
him.
picture because he's just throwing up the peace sign while he's walking.
so good.
I love that. That is
I
so
shared that
good.
photo one time before, and I was like, this is literally me, like, because
a
all my
mood.
friends are coupled up except me. And there's like any group photo that we go, like, if we all like go somewhere together and they're all like with their significant others, and I'm just in the background like Thomas
With a
Lynn
peace
throwing a
sign.
peace sign.
The
Exactly.
single life.
There's an account on Twitter which is Deborah without a H, and they've been doing an advent calendar as well.
Oh,
That I've
yes.
been following, and like every day you click into it, and it's a different like YouTube link that it opens up. I
Yes.
love it. It's
So
really, really
cute.
sweet. Yeah, I really am enjoying doing it every day. So thank you very much for that. Also,
Shout out
it's
to-
been
for the-
making me smile every morning.
Yes.
Also, another one, just very quickly while we're here, I apologize.
Go ahead. Go
But
ahead.
we
Go
also
ahead.
have TikTok are doing 25 days of fanfic
Yes.
recommendations.
Yes, that. And
Thank you very
bless.
much to Elodie
also
and Layla.
Mhm.
Also,
for
can't
that.
forget about the Avonlea Forest Padlet for
Yes.
Yes.
writing
the-
down on the
Heyo.
Take
Notice.
Notice board.
Uh,
Mhm.
Saying all those gorgeous messages
Yeah.
and
Get in
Shout
your
out
take
to-
notices, folks.
get in those
Yeah.
Take Notices. Avonlea 4. Shout out to Sav and
Abby.
Abby.
and
yeah.
Abby. Yeah.
It's been really wholesome. We were thinking just for the holiday season, but now I'm thinking just leave it up for everyone to just
Year-round.
keep adding
Yes.
messages. We always you see the show and you're like, oh, that's like a little weird, but it's so cute. And there's
Mhm.
like really nice messages on there, and there's genuine so if you might be on it, people are leaving genuine take
Mhm.
notices. There's like
Check it out.
Um,
Maybe you've got a secret lover.
yeah.
Because we had the Kind Kindred's party yesterday, and then that sort of coincided with the release of the Take Notice board then from Avonlea 4 as well. I think it's kind of nice too, because there are messages that were just going up onto the timeline yesterday that you might feel like a bit silly just posting on like any other time of the year. So like now there's like a little outlet for them this summer for them to go. I think that's nice.
Yeah, this entire fandom is just terrific, and it's really good seeing everybody still so active and stuff, even after a little over a year.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And
shout out
especially
to
during
everybody.
holidays.
Shout out to everybody in this fandom, and yeah.
Happy holidays and
Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
Happy New Year in
everybody.
case we're not recording till after that. But yeah.
Be sure to get in those really nice messages on the Padlet. Well, that is all we have planned for today. So, ladies, where can we all find you at?
You can find me at guiltmy with an underscore after each word on now forgotten Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. And happy holidays, everybody.
You can find me under Chaos and Cam on Twitter, and there's a little underscore between each of my words as well, and that's me.
Don't forget about your fan archive of our own.
Oh, I have an
Yeah,
archive of I've got an archive of our own as well. If anybody reads fan fiction, you're very welcome to check it out. What is my name on it?
Becky
My
Bubbles.
name on
Bubbles.
it is Becky Bubbles with a capital B for both words.
Good stuff on there.
Thank
and
you
you
very
can
much.
find- yes. You can find me on A Nature Symphony on Twitter and Tumblr. And yeah, happy holidays, everyone.
She's got the best salt on her Tumblr or Twitter. Very, very salty. I love that Twitter. And finally,
Ditto.
you can find me at Queen Anne Blythe on Twitter and Tumblr. So I hope you have a happy holidays
Yes.
and a very wonderful new year. So
Yes.
I hope that you also keep
Turning.
That.
Butter. I'm never gonna say it right. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for listening to our episode. And once again, hope to see you guys in the new year.
Yeah.
Bye.
Happy holidays and keep safe.
Bye.
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 Toodles.